Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a fabulous Friday. We have so much to cover today. We have found out that Harry and Meghan have been banned from a great hotspot. We're talking about the paparazzi. We have, oh my goodness, you guys, really. I apologize for the length of this video, but there's so much to cover. Let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off, I think this is cute, and it was put up by Catherine and William. It's the butterfly count, which is a nationwide effort to try to count the butterflies. I know that sounds crazy, right? They're asking people to go out into their gardens and count butterflies. I don't know how that could be accurate, though, because what if the one butterfly leaves the one garden and goes into somebody else's garden and then it gets counted again? You know what I mean? But okay, moving on. All right, moving on to King Charles. He's about to have the first opening of Parliament since he has become king. It's going to take place on November 7th because that marks the official start of the year. King Charles is going to make a speech. Now, we know he did it last year after being deputized by his mother because his mother was too ill. Now, this is interesting. I didn't know this. The speech that the king's going to give is not written by him, but it's written by the ministers and outlines the government's proposed policies. So he doesn't know what's in the speech. I think this is interesting. Now, they're saying that the MPs have their own protocol and they are summoned to the House of Lords by an official known as the Black Rod before the king gives his speech. Pretty cool. Moving on. All right, really quickly, still sticking with Charles, I wanted to show you, remember I told you yesterday they added some soil to a sapling that's going to be replanted. Well, these pictures came out, which I thought were really cute, so there you go. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Sarah Ferguson. She came out and let everybody know that she has begun writing a new book just weeks after having her mastectomy due to her breast cancer diagnosis. She said she's very excited to be writing, escaping into her world, as she called it. I think it's lovely that she's keeping herself busy. I have yet to read any of her books, but it is my understanding that she's really a very good writer. Now, she's already released 2 historical fiction novels, Her Heart for a Compass in 2021, and A Most Intriguing Lady in March of this year. And then the last book, she's exploring all aspects of love while setting the book in 1870s. Interesting. Moving on. Next up, we have the Duke of Gloucester, who visited the Costello Medical Biodiversity Net Gain Project and handed out some very deserving farming awards. He opened a new resource center located in Fulbourn. Looking good there, sir, looking good. Moving on to Prince Andrew, apparently there's some new legal stuff coming up because Andrew met Jeffrey Epstein while Jeffrey Epstein was under house arrest, and he visited him in Florida in June 2010. But remember, in his interview, he said he had only seen Epstein in December of that year. And according to court documents, Epstein apparently emailed a banker and said, Andrew just sat next to me at dinner. Now, during the interview, Andrew said he went to New York to end his friendship with Epstein. He made no mention of any other contact. And then we found out later on that all of the stuff he said was not true. So now there's more legal questions. Now, while all of this is going on, wouldn't you know it, articles are coming out now. I've already told you this, that Virginia Giuffre lied under oath. And I've told you before, if you're willing to lie under oath, then you are completely untrustworthy. They just went through all of the contradictions in all of her accounts, that she lied under oath. She claimed she was assaulted by all these other people, and then she had to admit that it was untrue. She inaccurately claimed she'd met Jeffrey Epstein in 1999. That come to find out that wasn't true. As a matter of fact, they've investigated her multiple times, and they're saying now that her accusations against Prince Andrew are falling short of being credible because, again, they found scores of contradictions and lies there you go. Oh, by the way, she originally claimed she met him but did not sleep with him. Yep. Next up, the Duke of Kent went to Wigmore Hall. He went to see a performance of Schubert's, let me see if I can say this, Schwangengesang. Schwangengesang. I think that's right. Ooh, looking good. All right, next up, I think it's very interesting. Thank you to the Duchess Pingo, I think is how you say that, pointing out that it looks like Omid Scobie is no longer working for Yahoo News. I mean, Now, we wondered why Yahoo would hire him with all the crap he was peddling. But as you can see here under Omid Scobie's old thing, it said he used to work as an editor for them. Oh, well. Moving on, I have to bring this up. The fact that people are throwing Harry's book away in the trash in record numbers. Boom, right into the trash. And people are wondering, why is this happening? Well, it's not going well. And that leads into this. Prince Harry's memoir is the reason why his and Meghan's careers have split off. They're saying that Meghan would not have promoted Spare the way Harry did, which I find interesting. He basically was going on the talk shows. But what I thought was interesting was the fact that she was not supporting him at all. Now, she's trying to distance herself from this book, distance everything that he wrote. It's not the way she would have done it, but she decided to back away and let him do his own thing. It was about his life, his journey, his perspective. And now that it's blown up, she's trying to distance herself from it as much as possible. Bull crap. Now, with that, Harry is supposed to go, remember, to Africa, and a blind item came out saying that he's got a realtor looking for a place just for him. I'm not sure about that one. Now, news articles are coming out saying that Harry and Meghan were going to throw a July 4th party, but after Spotify got canceled and with, being called grifters and with everything going on, they decided to cancel the party because they honestly believed that nobody would come. And I totally believe that. They were so humiliated and they're so toxic that no A-listers would want to be around them. They had just been passed over by the Emmys. Spotify canceled them. They don't have any charitable careers. Everybody knows that. The U.S. is sick of them. I'm sure nobody wanted to come over. So now they can't catch a break. So with all of those things that have happened to them, they want you to believe that they have this fabulous California home and so much money and they're Oprah's best friend but people now they're saying have become, you ready? Pitiful. People are giving them pity because when it came out, the final straw was when it came out that they tried to get on, the Biden's plane and were told no. And I have to be honest. I think part of the problem is Harry honestly thought that if he said it's Prince Harry, that the president or anybody else would just open the door for him. I'm Prince Harry. Nobody cares anymore. That's what they don't get. These two have forgotten that the criteria that is applied to other people in the royal family who don't work somehow wouldn't apply to them, even though they have forgotten that they've stepped away from royal duties, right? But somehow that shouldn't count. They should expect, the UK to keep paying for their security, even though they live on another continent and don't have any diplomatic status. Now, one of the reasons why they're saying that they were snubbed from Air Force One was because it was right after the Oprah interview and Spare had already been put out, and the leaders of the free world didn't want to get into a commotion that would have strained any relationship between the palace and King Charles with the President of the United States. It's that simple. Biden didn't even get to say no. It was the White House that immediately put a stop to that. They said it was a complete non-starter. Now, another reason they're putting out that this they wanted to keep distances because of the security issue. If you guys remember when Harry and Meghan did that fake royal tour in New York, one of the people that was with them claimed to be Homeland Security, which made it look like the U.S. taxpayer was already paying for some security. There was a whole drama. Now, several of us wrote in and asked, were we paying for security? And we did not get a response from anybody, which essentially means they're admitting that the U.S. taxpayer is already helping to pay for some of the security. Now, the article clearly says that Harry and Meghan forgot the golden rule. When you give up a globally respected royal title, you're ordinary folk. It's that simple. You don't fall into the royal category. Biden's team was worried about the optics, they said. If they said yes to them, next thing you know, the Kardashians would want to ride. Now, the only other comment I have about this is the fact that the White House has not denied this story and Harry and Meghan have not denied this story. If it's not denied, it's probably true. Moving on. All right, now we're going to start talking about these pap walks. So Meghan went to the farmer's market. We already know that. And she is claiming that, she doesn't set up pap walks. We know she does. They're saying that her vibe was different, according to the photographer who took the shots. Now, they tracked down this woman who said that she took the shots on her cell phone. She just happened to be there. And she says, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Montecito is a small place. However, with that being said, it's pretty obvious these are set up shots. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If Meghan wants to show people she's a normal person, she'll end up at the local grocery store, walking around with a cart, not dressed, dripping with jewelry again, wearing $400, $500 glasses and, a $3,000 dress, sampling honey and carrying orchids. That's a setup, people. If her team, her new PR team, wants to show her as just a normal person going around to the farmer's market, no security, just her and her dog, they're going to have to do a little bit better than that. Nobody in that area, nobody else in the area, no other stars have those kinds of issues with the paparazzi, just Meghan. Why do you think that is? Now, the PR team went out of their way to find this woman to have her say, no one calls me. I have no support. I do it all by myself. Nobody tipped me off to her whereabouts. It's a total pain in the butt when you get their picture. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't do it. You did do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have taken the pictures and then sold them. Okay? This was meant to happen. This is part of her new rehab in the media per her PR team. I mean, if she hadn't called Backgrid, why would these photos have been taken? There was nobody else around, nobody. But they just happened to be there to see them walking out of this yoga studio place. The headline said they looked happy. They did not look happy, and Harry was not holding Meghan's hand. I think they left in separate cars, as a matter of fact, on that particular day. Now, with that, you should know that these pap walks that she has set up have caused her all kinds of problems. Let's take a look. So thank you to Resting Dollface for reminding me of this. When Prince Harry came back from Prince Philip's funeral, he was seen having lunch at the San Vicente bungalows with Wallace Amberg. Now, this made the news big story because they're saying that the club, which is owned by Sunset Tower Hotel millionaire Jeff Klein, is so exclusive, mobile phones and taking photos is prohibited. And if you're caught doing it, you're ejected and permanently suspended. It's very inclusive. So this guy, the owner, launched a probe into how Harry and Miss Annenberg's meeting was leaked because nobody should have known about it. Okay? It was supposed to be super confidential, and this guy was going to launch a probe. We never heard anything else about the case. So now it's come out that Lady Victoria Hervey was on GB News with Dan Wooten, and she let it spill that the two of them, Harry and Meghan, had been banned from this club. Now there's another diluted sugar on this show taking up for Harry and Meghan. Oh my God. Okay, listen to this, you guys.
Well, the one place that they were hanging out in LA, they actually, like I heard from people in LA, that they actually got barred.
What happened?
Well, the private members club where they organised to have paparazzi outside in West Hollywood, they're not allowed to go back.
Really?
Well,
sorry, a private members club banned Harry and Meghan because they secretly asked for paparazzi?
Yeah, because
they secretly asked? Are you sure?
It's the one that they
That's
would go to. No. I know people in LA. Like, I've lived there for a long time. It's not. It's true.
Are you doubting Lady V's sources?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, let's try and
look, this
find
is a very tenuous story. It's a private members club.
No, they don't like... The other people there do not like paparazzi,
well,
right? So they brought paparazzi with them. They would do set-up shots.
The fact that they would bring paparazzi, they load the paparazzi.
They do set-up shots all the time.
But lots of people have been saying that Meghan has set up a lot of shots.
What about that fake story? What about the fake story with the driving in the car? That was
not a fake story. That was not a fake story.
Fantasy car chase.
The fantasy car chase. You think that was real?
Where it's impossible to get above, 10 miles per hour.
In certain places, you can. In Riverside, you can get up speed.
You're very loyal. So no Wayne
loyal defender over here.
They are leading a happy
San
life.
Vicente Bungalows. Sorry, I've just remembered the name.
Everything is quieting
What's the
down.
name?
San Vicente Bungalows. So you should try and reach out to them and say, is this a true?
Okay, little scoop there from Lady Victoria Harvey. Thank you too, Janina.
Now, I did a video on March 2nd called Fake Pap Shots because it was right after it had been announced that Harry and Meghan, or leaked, that Harry and Meghan had been told back in January to get out of Frogmore Cottage after what Harry wrote in The Spare. So here's a clip from that video to refresh your memory, okay? Watch this. Now, we know that The Spare came out. We know that Meghan did that IG commercial for the coffee. Look at Harry here. He looks absolutely stoned. Like, seriously. So what do? They decide it's time to go out and let's be seen. Guess who took these pictures, you guys? That's right, Backgrid. Paps on call. So they called them up and said, oh, it's coming out that we've been evicted. And I'm still, hyping up the coffee. Harry, we need to be seen out in public. Come on, let's go. Call Backgrid. Let's pick a restaurant. Let's go. Harry has this fake smile plastered on his face. Meghan has the same fake smile plastered on her face. They do this every time they need to counter a negative story. They come out, call the paps, get their pictures taken, and try to make it look like they're just having a wonderful life. Okay, a big thank you to Evans Einstein for pointing this out. Meghan's face doesn't even match her hands. Wow. Now, on March 3rd, I did another video, I believe it was the next day, because some more information about the pap walk came out, and in front of this private club. So watch this. I want to give a big shout out to GB Royal Edits on TikTok for this video, and I'm taking the sound out so you can concentrate on it. So just watch. So let's look at that one more time. Usually Harry helps Meghan from the car. Meghan's hanging on Harry. They're holding hands. They're together. Harry stays behind Meghan, doesn't touch her, doesn't help her up the stairs. As a matter of fact, he puts his arm around the lady and then the guy and puts distance between himself and Meghan. It's pretty obvious that things are not going well. They should be hanging on each other. Remember, we're so in love, right? Yeah, things are not well. Now, they end up getting in the car with the darkened windows. Look at Harry's face. Now, Meghan is smiling. Remember, the windows are tinted. You can't see in, but look at Harry's face. Harry does not look happy at all. But I think these pictures might have been taken right before they got out of the car. And she's like, oh, look, the paps are here. They're taking our photo. And look at Harry's face. And then he had to try to plaster on that smile when he got out of the car. Maybe Harry was in shock about how much the bill was going to be after dinner. This club, by the way, makes you put a sticker over the camera on your phone when you walk in so that there can't be any surreptitious photos taken in this place. It's so exclusive. We found out later on that they were offered the back entrance, which all the big A-listers use. Nobody arrives by the front entrance, and you never see pap shots of any other A-listers going in and out of this club. So in other words, the club at this point has decided that having them as members isn't worth the trouble, because with Meghan constantly calling the paps, it's ruined the exclusivity of the club, and that's why they've now been banned. You really can't blame the owner of the club. He's just trying to preserve what he's built up. You know what I'm saying? All right, our last story for today, it came out that they've sold their Montecito mansion. Okay, here's my honest thought. I happen to agree with Taz. If you look at every one of these pictures that's coming out, they're sitting in the exact same room with the exact same corner window, with the exact same fireplace, or they're on the opposite side on the exact same couch, and all they do is move the couch from the wall to in front of the windows and back and change some of the decorations on the table or behind the couch. I don't believe that's their home. Like Taz said, they wouldn't let anybody film in their home. This house was available for rent for different things. Even in the Netflix docuseries, you only saw them in 2 rooms. You saw them in the kitchen, and you saw them in this room with the fireplace. That's it. You never saw them anywhere else. So I don't believe that that's where they live. I don't believe that they've ever lived there, to be fair. I think they were renting it out like a studio. I completely agree with Taz on that. And if you haven't watched the Royal Griff's take on it, notice in this video, Harry's wearing a blue or a black shirt. And then here he is at what's supposed to be months later or before in a black shirt. And here they are at the interview in a black shirt. I think Meghan changed shirts, black shirt for Harry, but I think they taped all of this like in a day or two at the house. Meghan changed clothes, but Harry didn't. All right, you guys. I don't even know what to say anymore. Put those comments down. I need to read them. You know they're going to be good. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've already hit that button, double check and make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget to go into the description box and get the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and my physical address in case there's something that you want to send. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.